Good afternoon and welcome to the Pittsburgh City Council public hearing for Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022, relative to Bill 819. Will the clerk please read the title of the bill?
Bill 819, Ordinance Amending the Pittsburgh Code, Title 9, Zoning, Article 4, Planning Districts, Chapter 910, Downtown Districts, to update review and approval processes.
Thank you. For the record, we are joined by Councilwoman Strasburger. Other members may pay attention or watch online at a later date. Our first order of business is to hear from our registered speaker. We have one registered speaker today, and his name is Bruce Chan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Good afternoon, council members and staff. I'm Bruce Chan, Senior Director of Urban Design at the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, representing downtown Pittsburgh. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in favor of the amendments to the zoning code for the Golden Triangle to support office space conversions in our central business district. The pandemic has changed many facets of our life, and none more significant than where and how we work. Virtual meetings and hybrid work experiences are likely here to stay, and with such radical change comes a need to rethink downtown, a place historically dedicated to commercial offices. As the center of our region and an economic engine for Southwestern Pennsylvania, downtown has remained overly reliant on commercial office for far too long. In fact, we rank 5th in the country in this category, with 66% of downtown real estate dedicated to office use. Additional residential growth presents an opportunity to create a more resilient neighborhood with active, vibrant streets that can support a dynamic retail environment. So these proposed zoning code amendments will support residential conversion of historic office buildings to residential in downtown. Updating the zoning code will begin to counter declining office occupancy and utilization rates that threaten downtown vitality and will prevent further erosion of an important component of the region's property tax base. Along with funding from the American Rescue Plan, the URA, the county, and the state, these zoning changes will help eliminate hurdles and decrease barriers for developers and property owners to overcome the high cost of building conversions, increase the supply of affordable workforce housing, and support the overall health and vitality of downtown Pittsburgh. We appreciate the leadership of Deputy Director Dash, the Zoning Administrator Lehman, and the whole planning department on tackling the sometimes unglamorous but very important task of reviewing and updating the zoning code to reflect the values of our city. And I hope that the City Council will support this important economic development tool in support of downtown. Thank you all and have a safe holiday. Thanks.
Very much. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. Or anyone with us in chambers wishing to speak? Have to ask. If not, I'll turn it over to members if members have anything they would like to add.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I didn't know if I see Katerakis here joining us. I didn't know if there was something in particular that the planning wanted to convey to council, wanted to give that opportunity. And if not, that's also fine. But I don't want to put you on the spot. But if there was something in particular you wanted to share.
Sure. Thank you, Councilwoman. I mean, I could sort of walk through what's in the legislation. I have a couple slides, but I mean, it's pretty basic. So it's really up to council.
Yeah, this will be an education for me to some extent. I know the chair is well versed in this, as this is his district, but I would appreciate that if you don't mind.
Sure. Yep. Give me 1 second. Share screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thanks. All right. So just the first slide is a little bit of background on this, and we heard this from the registered speaker as well. Sort of the impetus behind this, just okay, the other work that's going on outside of those relative to converting vacant commercial office space into mixed income developments downtown. And so the zoning legislation is aimed at streamlining this review and approval of residential units downtown. So right now, residential units in the Golden Triangle zoning district will require planning commission review and approval. And there's also a minimum lot size per unit. So the idea behind this would be to prevent really small units or sort of really dense developments, but existed in the zone for a long time, and we didn't really feel like that was something that was needed anymore. So this removes both the planning commission review and the minimum lot size per unit. And then there's also a conditional use for a transfer of development rights to exceed that minimum lot size per unit. That may be something that council members are familiar with because it does come through council, those conditional use amendments to transfer the development rights from one lot downtown to another lot downtown. But because this legislation would remove the minimum lot size per unit, that would take away that. We'd also edit the zoning code to take out that transfer of development rights because that would no longer be needed. And then finally, right now, exterior renovations downtown greater than $50,000 requires planning commission review and approval. So this is pretty low. It's existed like this, I think, even predating the updates to the zoning code for 1999. So it's really never been increased for inflation. So this would update that threshold to $250,000 of exterior renovation would require planning commission approval. And again, this is just trying to, remove those small projects from having to go to planning commission. We've had projects that have been like door replacements that exceed $50,000 that have to go to planning commission, and really there's no need for the small project size to go. And then we did change, this came through planning commission, so the extra renovations less than that $250,000 would have to go to staff design review and site plan review, so it just wouldn't be an automatic approval. Zoning staff would be able to review and comment on that as well. And then one last sort of cleanup item that's in this legislation, electronic message signs were permitted as a conditional use in 2 of the Golden Triangle subdistricts, Golden Triangle Subdistrict A and Subdistrict B. This actually, we believe, was an oversight, and it should have been removed when the sign code was updated in 2009. So again, this just goes ahead and takes that out, which again, we think is something that should have been removed and updated when they updated the entire sign code.
Thank you. I appreciate the overview. That's helpful.
Yeah.
And I guess one question either for you or Councilman Lavelle. It's my understanding that this entire area that is affected by this change also has a 100% parking minimum reduction.
Correct.
The downtown parking reduction area does not exactly match the Golden Triangle zoning districts. There's a little bit of the Golden Triangle zoning district that goes out into the strip district, and that part is excluded from the zero parking reduction. But otherwise, yes, the entirety of sort of what you think of as downtown is 100% parking reduction, no parking requirement. But again, there's that little part of the GT zoning district that goes out into the strip district, and that is not parking exempt.
Thank you. Yeah. So, in other words, another factor that should ostensibly lower the cost of conversion or development, and therefore make it ideally more likely that there's workforce and affordable housing included here in the housing conversion. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mr. Chair, I have no further comments or questions.
Thank you. I'll simply thank Kate and thank Director Dash and Mr. Lehman for all their work on this. This is much needed and very timely. So thank you all for your work.
You're welcome. Thank you.
If no other comments, then we've exhausted the business of this public hearing and the meeting is adjourned.
Bye.